Good morning, students. Saira. Hope you all are doing well. Welcome to your English class. Students, today we are going to complete our chapter The Beggar from the book The Moment. We got to know that beggar's name was Lashkov and the advocate was Sergi. So there are two characters, one is Lashkov and another is Sergi. Sergi is the advocate who give work to the beggar and the beggar's name is Lashkov. Lashkov was the member of Russian choir, but he was kicked out of there because he has a bad habit of drinking day and night. This was the reality which he told to Sergi, and after that, Sergi gave him the job of chopping wood in his yard. And for this, he used to give him half a ruble every month. And he even offered Sergi that if you want to work and if you want to earn money, you can come every month to me and I'll give you any kind of work, and for that I'll pay you half a ruble. So the way every month Lashkov used to come to Sergi for work and he'd do his work, and at last he was paid half a ruble. At last, when Sergi was shifting his house, he called Lashkov for helping him in packing and shifting the furniture. But he didn't help. He was leaning near the van, and the courier boys were laughing at him, seeing his condition that he was wearing a torted clothes. It was not a proper overcoat. So he feel very shy at that moment. At last, Sergi called him and he said that I'm very impressed that you are very changed now and you are very sober and well mannered, even you are not in under the influence of your alcohol. And he said that now I'll give you a proper employment work where you can earn money for yourself. So he said, can you write? So Sergi asked Lashkov, can you write? And Lashkov answered, yes, I can. So he gave him a letter. Sergi gave him a letter to Lashkov and said that take this letter and go to my friend. There he will give you a job. So this was all that we learned in the last class, that a job was given to Sergi. So Sergi offered a employment job to Lashkov. Now we will see what has happened after that. So let us begin with that. So the passage says, pleased at having put a man on the right path, Sergi tapped Lashkov kindly on the shoulder and even gave him his hand at parting. Lashkov took the letter and from that day forth came no more to the yard for work. So what happened? Sergi was happy for himself that he had reformed a man, and he tapped Lashkov on his shoulder and shook hands with him. Lashkov went away with the letter and never returned to that yard. Now, 2 years went by. Then, one evening, as Sergi was standing at the ticket window of a theatre paying for his seat, he noticed a little man beside him with a coat collar of curly fur and a swan sealskin cap. This little individual timidly asked the ticket seller for a seat in the gallery and paid for it in copper coins. So, what happened? After 2 years, one evening when Sergi was standing at the ticket window of a theater, he was buying a ticket for himself. There, he saw a little man who was standing beside him. He was well dressed. He wore a coat, and the collar was made of fur, and he even wore a cap which is made of seal skin. And he was shy as he asked for a ticket of the gallery seat and paid for it in copper coins. Now, Lashkov, is that you? Cried Sergi, recognizing in the little man his former wood chopper. How are you? What are you doing? How is everything with you? So Sergi recognized. So the little man who was standing beside Sergi was none other than Lashkov, the beggar. So what question Sergey asked, Lashkov, is it you? So Sergey recognized that he was Lashkov and he met him. He asked how he was, what he is doing now, and now how everything is going on. So these are the questions put up by Sergey to Lashkov. All right, I am a notary now and I'm paid 35 rubles a month. So remember, he was paid only half a ruble by Sergi, but now he is earning 35 rubles every month. So he was doing a job of notary. Notary is a person authorized to perform certain legal formalities, especially to draw up or certify contracts, deed, and other documents for use in other jurisdiction. So Rashkov replied that he was fine and he was doing a job of notary who give permissions to such legal documents. He was doing that job and he is paid 35 rubles a month. Thanks, heaven. That's fine. I am delighted for your sake. I'm very, very glad, Lashkov. You see, you are my godson, in a sense. I gave you a push along the right path, you know. Do you remember what a roasting I gave you? Ugh, I nearly had you sinking into the ground at my feet that day. Thank you, old man, for not forgetting my words. Now here Sergi was glad and he was thinking that this all has happened because of him, and he was saying that thank Sergi was glad and he thanked God that thank you for reforming the beggar, and he even said that he considered Lushkov to be his godson, that God has gifted him as his son. So he's a godson because it was due to his scolding that Sergi scolded Lushkov on that day, and because of that now Lushkov is a changed man. That day the beggar had been at his feet asking for mercy, and he was glad that Lashkov did not forget his words. Thank you too, said Lashkov. If I hadn't come to you then, I might still have been calling myself a teacher or a student to this day. Yes, by flying to your protection, I dragged myself out of a pit. I am very glad indeed. So here Lashkov is also thanking Sergey that thank you that I came to you and I met you that day, and it is all because of you. Otherwise I would be lying to everyone for begging that I am a teacher or a student. I am giving excuse to everyone, and this is because of you I came out of that pit with the help of Sergi and was glad for his help. Thank you for your kind words indeed. I am very grateful to you and to your cook. God bless that good and noble woman. You spoke finely then, and I shall be indebted to you to my dying day. But strictly speaking, it was your cook Olga who saved me. So here Lashkov is now revealing that because of Olga he has changed himself. Not just Sergi. Sergi helped him, but it was actually, strictly speaking, that means if I speak bluntly, that it was only Olga who saved me. Otherwise, I have been digging into that pit of alcohol. So he said that he thanked for his kindness. So he's thanking Sergi for his kindness that he gave him work. But he was grateful to the cook. She was a noble woman, although Sergi had been kind to him. It was Olga who saved him and reformed him. Now, here a question is put up by Sergi. How's that? So he is asking how this happened. Tell me the truth. So now the truth is revealed by Sergi Lashkov. Let us see that. When I used to come to your house to chop wood, she used to begin, Oh, you sot, you. Oh, you miserable creature. There is nothing for you but ruin. And then she would sit down opposite me and grow sad, look into my face and weep. Oh, you unlucky man, there is no pleasure for you in this world, and there will be none in the world to come. You drunkard, you will burn in hell. Oh, you unhappy one. And so she would carry on. In that strain, I can't tell you how much misery she suffered, how many tears she shed for my sake. But the chief thing was She used to chop the wood for me. Do you know, sir, that I did not chop one single stick of wood for you? She did it all. Why this saved me? Why I changed, why I stopped drinking at the sight of her, I cannot explain. I only know that, owing to her words and noble deeds, a change took place in my heart. She set me right, and I shall never forget it. However, it is time to go now. There goes the bell. Lashkov bowed and departed to the gallery. So here Lashkov continued that when he would visit his place to chop the wood. Olga would scold him that you are drunkard and you will be burned in hell. You are living a very unhappy life and no happiness will be given to you. But at another moment, she used to look at him and she used to weep and cry. And she used to do the work given to Lashkov by her own. So she felt very sad for him and she would chop every wood for him. She even Lashkov have never even chopped a single stick for Sergey. So it was all the work which was given to Lashkov done by Olga. Every work which was given to Lashkov, it is done by Olga, and he never did any work. But this behavior of Olga, helping others, doing a noble work, and crying and having a sympathy for Lashkov, changed Lashkov behavior, and that's why from that day he just get away from alcohol. Her behavior changed him, and so after that, the bell rang, and he said, "Sir, I have to go. The bell has rang. We have to go to the gallery." And he bowed to Sarji and left for the gallery to the theater. So this was all this chapter, the beggar, that how a good deed of a person changed the beggar and he came out of the influence of alcohol. So with this we complete our chapter, the beggar. Thank you, students.